We're going to continue right now with another lesson on CSS. We're going to look at creating page-specific CSS. So I have my website folder on the desktop as usual, and I have the page-specific folder that was available on the class website, downloaded and placed. In this case, I have it in Project 3 Demo. We have a series of files here that I'm giving you as a starting point. So let's flip over to Dreamweaver where we can work on this. So we see there's my folder there. I'm going to go ahead and jump into the index file so we can start looking at what we have here. Okay, what you'll see, I'm going to design view for a second. Pretty basic page. So we have a sidebar sitting over here. We have a header up at the top. We have a main content area over here. We have a footer at the bottom. And in my main content column, so my content column, I have a div which is named top nav, and I have an unordered list here with the list items and links in there. Okay, so the way that we have looked at creating navigation using the unordered list and then styling the bullets off of it and then styling the links, these have not been styled a whole lot, but they're styled a little bit, so they still look like text links. I haven't really made them look like buttons. Okay, so pretty basic layout that we've been working on. I'm going to flip here to CSS Designer to get us rolling. So what I want to look at is how we can create CSS that is specific to a particular page. So this is kind of similar to the specific CSS that we have created. For instance, when we went through the tutorial and we were creating navigation that looked like buttons, we had text links over here and we styled them to look like buttons, and we had them sitting within a specific div so that we could address them. We called it navbar, nope, side nav, something like that. And so we could address the links just within that area, make them look like buttons here, and then we had links down in the footer. It didn't affect those. So that's how we could narrow our rules down to a specific area of the page. What I want to look at right now is a way that we can make it custom just based on the page that you're on right now. So I don't know if you've ever looked at a web page before, and when you go to a particular page, like I'm on the home page right now, if I were on the home page, then the home link here would look different. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to make it a different color here. And it's common for us to leave very consistent navigation here. In other words, I'm on the home page. I don't remove the home link off of the home page. When I click on the About link here and I load up the About page, the About link does not usually disappear. So this is consistent. But sometimes we customize these so that it gives you reinforcement of what page you're on. So that's where I'm going. I want to make the home link look different when I'm on the home page, just to reinforce that. So thinking back to what I was saying a second ago, we looked at how we can address something specifically on the page. But now we have to look at how we can address specific elements on this page and then determine what page we're on. In other words, at the moment, I can look at this link, the home link right here. If I look here, okay, it's in A, it's in a list item, it's in an unordered list, and it's within a div called top nav. So I know how to create a rule that says any link within top nav, do something to it. But that would address all of these links up here, all 4 of them. So I want to get more specific than that and address each of these links specifically. So to do that, I'm going to have to give a style name to each of the links, either an ID or a class. As opposed to, see, where my div has an ID on it, I need to address each of these independently. So I think it makes the most sense to go ahead and use an ID. I don't think this is something I'll use anywhere else on the page. Usually I have one primary area. And so I'm going to come in here and give each of these an ID so I can address it specifically. So by selecting the home link up here, I'm going to click on the A here. And then if I come down here to my properties inspector down here, I see right here where it says ID, and currently it says none. So I can go ahead and type a name right there. So I'm basically applying that to it even though there's no rule yet. So I'm going to highlight the word none, or delete it. It doesn't want to highlight. And I am going to name it home link. So I'm going to create a capital L in the middle of it to help me spot the word, the break in the words. I can't use spaces here. I could use dashes or underscore. But you have to be very specific, and I'm going to be very specific about my naming convention for a number of IDs here. So if you are afraid that you're going to forget to capitalize the L later, then you might just want to go all lowercase. I'm going to be very careful and capitalize mine in the middle. So I'm going to name this one home link. I'm going to hit the tab bar or the return just so that it takes it. Notice that in Dreamweaver it's put this little anchor icon up there to indicate that there's an ID associated with it. So now, if I look right here, in fact, let's even go look at code. Now we see there's my link. And my link itself, the A tag, it has the href, and then it has an ID of home link on it. So I now could make a rule specific to home link. I could say, every home link, make the link green. Now that's not what I want to do here because I only want to do it on the home link for the home page. So I need to take this a step further. But this is a way that I can address just this specific link. So this is the first half of it. Now, while I'm here, just to kind of keep things in order, I'm going to go ahead and apply an ID to each of my links here. I could get away with doing it just on the home link on the home page, but I like the consistency in my code. I'd like it to have IDs on each of these, and then I think I'm going to go ahead and take this navigation code and copy it to my other files just to get the consistency there. Okay, but let's go create IDs on my other links real quick. So clicking on the About link there, I'm going to come select the link, and then again come down to the Properties Inspector. I'm going to delete the word none, and I'm going to name this About link. Okay, so you see I'm being consistent. It's the About page that I'm going to point to. I'm going to name it About, and then a capital L link. Hit my tab key so it takes it. Again, I'm going to go select my Products link, select the link, come down to the Properties Inspector, delete none, and I'm going to name this Products link. Hit the tab key so it takes it. And I have one more. I'm going to come to the Contact link, click on the link itself, and back to the Properties Inspector again, and name this one Contact link. Okay, so again, if I look at code, here's the full unordered list. And if I look at each list item within the list, they each have a link, they each point to a page, and each of them have an ID. And I've named my IDs in a very similar fashion to the page that they're pointing to, just to help me remember them. And I'll point out why I want to be so consistent. I mean, consistency always helps, I think. But in this case, I'm going to go work with the code in a few minutes. So the consistency in the naming is really going to help me there as well. Okay, I'm going back to split view. Okay, so now by giving each of these links an ID, I can address each link specifically. And so now I can create a rule that tells the browser to make home link a different color, but I only want it to be a different color on this particular page. So the question we really come down to now is, how do I let CSS know what page I'm on? Now visually I can tell. I have a headline, or I have an H1 here that says home page, but CSS can't read that. The title of my page is home. It can't read that either. So I don't have any code specifying the page, so I need to add something to it. So the way that I like to do this is I'm actually going to go back. If I look at my tags, there's my paragraph within a div, within a div, within my body tag. I'm going to go out to my body tag right here. And because the body encloses everything that's viewable on the page, I like to use that to identify what page I'm on. Sorry about that error message that popped up. So I'm going to identify the page by giving my body an ID. So selecting my body tag, I'm going to come down here in the Properties Inspector to ID, and I'm going to delete none again. I'm going to follow a similar approach here. I'm on the home page, I was looking at the home link, so I'm going to give this an ID of home and then page. And not like one word home page, but it's the home page, and so I'm capping the P in the middle. So like my next one will be about page. Again, no spaces, but a capital P in the middle. So that's how I'm going to name them. So now, in fact, if we look at code, you see that my body tag has an ID of home page on it. Okay? So now I have the different pieces in place. I can come here. I have a link named home link, and if I look at my code down here, I can tell when I'm on home page. So now I have the different pieces to create a rule that will address the home link on home page. So let's go ahead and create our first rule. So I'm going to come over to CSS Designer. I'm going to select styles.css because all of my rules are in the external style sheet. Coming down to selectors, I could check and make sure I don't have a rule for this yet, but I know I don't because I just created both of these IDs. So I'm going to go ahead and create a new selector. Now this gives me a very long suggestion. This says, here, actually let's start from the right. It says whenever you have home link within a list item, within an unordered list, within top nav, within content, within container, within home page, do this to it. That's much more specific than I need to be. So I really just want home link within home page, and you may have noticed those are the first and last items. So I'm going to take everything in the middle and make sure I just leave a space between them. Okay, so this now says anytime you find home link on home page, do this to it. Okay, so I'm happy with that rule. I'm going to click down here in properties. And now I can make whatever the changes I want to make to it. I'm just going to simply change my text color. I have yellow on green right now. I'm going to go for, let's go for like a bright green. Enough that'll stand out from the dark green. Okay. And so now you see that on this one, on my home page, my home link is green. Okay, so I've created my first rule. Let's jump over to styles up here, and you can see down in the bottom right here. So there's my rule. Anytime home link is found on home page, change this color. Okay? So now I have multiple pages. I need to go fix the rest of my pages. If I go back to my files panel over here, I see there's an about page, a contact page, and a products page. That makes sense. They matched up my navigation. So I have one page fixed. I have added IDs to all my navigation, and I've added an ID to my page itself. I need to do the same on the rest of my pages. So the way I'm going to approach it, because my navigation is consistent, instead of going and fixing each and every link on each page, I know that the code is consistent as well for my navigation. So I'm going to go pull the code and copy paste it. So clicking within my nav just to help me locate myself over here in the code. So there's my home link. Here is my top nav div right here. And here is the unordered list that makes up my navigation. I'm going to highlight the full unordered list and copy that and paste it into the other files. Now, if you wanted to, you could get the whole top nav div. But of course, actually, no, okay, I only have one close div tag here. But you just have to be consistent. So I think I just want to do the UL. So open UL through close UL. And then I know exactly what I'm copying. So I'm going to highlight that. I'm going to go up and I'm going to say copy that. On my way out, I'm going to do a quick save all. And now I need my other pages. So I'm going to go get my about page. Click on my home link just to help me spot it in the code. There's the home link. So here's the UL. There's the open tag through the close tag. So once I have those highlighted, I'm going to go up and say paste and put that in place. So I see that I have my IDs in place now. Okay, and I can go to my contact page. Go find the code down here. Here it is. Again, the open UL through the close UL. Make sure I get the tags on either side. Replace that code. And one more page, I have my products page. I'm going to go find the code on this one. Here's the navigation. And again, the open UL through the close UL tag. Paste that in place there. Okay, so on each of my pages, you see the little anchors up here showing that they have IDs on them. I click through my pages and see that I have that in place on all of them. Again, I'm going to do a save all real quick. Hope that error doesn't come back. Okay, the one other thing I did on my home page was I gave it an ID on the body tag, so I need to put that in place as well. So going back to my About page, I'm going to go click my About tag, come down to the ID and Properties. This is the About page, and so I know that I'm going to call it About, and then Page with a capital P for consistency. Going to my Contact page. Again, I'm going to get my body tag. Come down here and give it an ID, Contact page, so it is Contact page. Okay. And the last one is Products. Click on my body tag. Back down here to the ID again. And it's Products page. Hit the tab key so it takes it. So my Products page, I see IDs across my nav. I see that I have an ID on my body tag. I'm just checking everything. Contact page, IDs up here on the nav. Contact page on the body tag. About page has IDs on the nav. Has an ID on the body tag. And finally back to my home page, they have IDs here. They have an ID on the body tag. Okay, so all of those are in place. I'll do another quick save all. Okay, so the only other step we did on the home page was putting our rule in place. So it's working on the home page. It doesn't work on the others yet because there's no rule. So there's no rule that says the About link on the About page does that. So I can go create a rule. Let's create one more. Back to the CSS designer. I'm going to click on the About link. Select my link down here. Okay, going to create a new rule, so back to CSS Designer. I click on styles.css. I know this rule doesn't exist, so I'm going to click on Selector. I have this really long suggestion again. But again, of course, I only want the first and the last one. It's based on experience from the last one. Oh, make sure I leave a space in the middle. So this says anytime you have the About link on the About page, I'm going to come down here, and I was changing my type color. Ooh, and I was going to a bright green, and I don't remember my color. So I'm going to pick a color, and we'll go make them match in a moment. I didn't write them down. So click a bright green and say OK. And now I see that my About link on my About page is green. Okay, let's go back to our CSS style sheet. Now, okay, this is what we suspected. I didn't pick the same color right there and right there. So I want to fix that. I could, of course, come here and find the first one and copy it. Go to the second one and paste it. Okay, my rules match now. They do the same thing. However, I have 2 more pages to create rules for, and this would create a total of 4 rules for 4 pages. Pretty simple for a 4-page website. Of course, if I had a 50-page website, I'd have 50 of those rules. I think that's a little unwieldy. So what I really want to do is I want to combine these rules. So remember when we were looking at CSS, there's the full rule right there. If I come in here to my first rule, I go to the end of it right there and hit a comma and a return, I can add a second item here. So I'm going to come and grab the second one that we were doing. I'm going to copy it. And I'm going to paste it right there. So now we know that this right here is a rule that says anytime there's home link on home page, or, because it's a comma, or anytime about link is on about page, change this color change the type color. Okay? So because I moved this to the other one, I'm going to delete it. It's combined in the upper one. So now this works for those 2 pages. So now you can see why I was being careful about my naming. So you see how similar these two are to each other. So similar that I'm going to just create my other 2 rules here in code. So I have home link on home page, about link on about page. So I'm going to do a comma, return. So the next one, let's see, would be my contact page. So pound contact page, making sure I capitalize the P, space, pound contact link, capitalizing the L. So anytime I have contact link on contact page, change this color. Okay, there's 3 of my 4. My last one, again, a comma, return. The last one is products page, so pound products page, space, pound products link. So anytime the products link is on products page, contact link on contact page, about link on about page, or home link on home page, change this color. So there's my rule. So let's go flip through our pages and make sure we're doing okay. I'm going to go back to source code, go back to the about. Actually, let's go to my home page. Okay, we expect this. This is our first one, so there's home link on home page. Flipping to about, there's the about link on about page. Going to contact, let me scroll over. Good, there's the contact link on contact page. And on the products page, we see the products link on the product page. So hopefully now you see how we are creating CSS that is specific to the page. We have to be able to address the links specifically, so I gave them each an ID. And then we have to be able to address the pages specifically, so I gave them an ID. So for instance, on products page, even though there is no rule for the ID of products page, I'm not doing any, I don't have any rule addressing this specifically. I need this identifier so that I can identify products when it's on the products page.